Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. Today, we're going to be talking about the richest zodiacs in the planet. Have you ever wondered why Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Bill Gates are out here building empires while the rest of us are out here just building our vision boards? Is it pure luck? Is it their parents? Or were they just born with the chosen one's birth charts? And maybe if you had shared a birthday with Mark Zuckerberg, you too would be on your private island right now. I'm about to ruin the way that you look at lucky people, and maybe you can be lucky too. Those who stick around to the end always get the answers. So do watch this episode if you're interested in finding out what makes people wealthy and rich. And I think that's a very interesting topic that we have here for you today. So let's get into it. So two people can obviously have the same zodiac sign, right? They can have the same vibe and even the same ambitions. And only one becomes a billionaire while the other is out here really scared to open up their banking app, right? Because it actually terrifies them to see those figures. What makes the difference between, some of the wealthiest people in the world and the rest of society? Right? So we're going to be looking at the charts of some of the richest people to kind of uncover what is at the depth of these charts, right? So let's look at some of the common astro patterns for these rich people. Also, just as a disclaimer, if you're not an astro babe and if you don't know the nitty-gritty of astrological jargon, don't worry about it. I will be explaining everything as simply as I possibly can. There's absolutely no chance that you won't understand what's going on. But firstly, let's listen to the full story. So we're going to start here with Elon. And you know him, right? He's the CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, and basically the poster child for, being the mad genius billionaire, right? So I checked his sun and his ascendant, which are both in Cancer. And honestly, with these placements, you'd expect to find a family therapist, not the king of X and SpaceX. Right? So, and that's because Cancer is known to have all these nurturing qualities. So looking at the ascendant and the sun alone pretty much doesn't give us a tell as to why or how he's become such an empire builder. So we deepened our analysis a little bit more, and his midhaven, which is typically the career point of our birth chart, is in Aries. Now we're starting to get to something, right? So that is the I go first, right? Aries archetype is the I go first. I don't ask for permission. I don't wait for approval. I am action oriented and I have a lot of will and determination. That's what we get from Aries. And that being on his sort of career point gives us a little bit more of a tell as to where this energy comes from. And, his Mars, which rules over this Aries midhaven, sits in Aquarius, right? And this is pure innovation and tech and rebellion and doing things that people think are stupid until they do work a couple of years later and everyone was like, oh, he was so ahead of his time, right? That's a very Aquarian energy. And we have that Mars that rules over his midhaven sitting in this place, in the sign. And he also has his Jupiter in Scorpio, right? So he can risk just about anything and play in very extreme territory, right? Scorpio is very much all or nothing. And so even with the risk taking that he does, he's very all or nothing. It has to work and we're about to risk it all. And so that is a very interesting sort of configuration of placements. And together we can start to see why Elon has this sort of builder. So with Bill Gates, right? This man does not release things until they work. Let's be so for real. Right? He's a Scorpio sun, and it shows in how deeply he commits to the things and ideas that he really wants to build. And he refuses to sort of let go of anything that he has in mind until he dominates the market, right? And Microsoft kind of didn't happen really quickly. He took his time with it. He was very strategic, and the Scorpio archetype is known to be really obsessive, really detail-oriented, but more than anything, they're extremely strategic. Now, to dig a little bit deeper in his chart,
he's got Jupiter and Pluto in the second house in Leo, which points to expansion through self-worth, visibility, and personal authority. Money grows when he owns his presence and builds something that reflects his identity. Saturn and Venus in the fifth house in Scorpio add depth and control to creative expression. This isn't just random talent. It's strategic, emotionally intense, and built with long-term focus. So here's your takeaway. If you open your chart and see Jupiter or Pluto in the second house, that's not easy money. That's power tied to self-value. The more confidently you build, the more money amplifies what you already are. And if you see Venus in the 5th, your creative output isn't just aesthetic. It can become capital.
And then we have Mark Zuckerberg.
He has a Taurus Sun and Taurus Venus, which is steady, value-driven.
So that is very unstoppable energy. And he has been able to build Meta very sustainably, very stably, and very slowly. Taurus is a very slow builder, but they're extremely determined. They're Scorpio's sister sign, so they share these sort of characteristics of being very determined and skillfully so. Right. And he started quietly with Meta in his 20s to sort of get it going. And he's still been sort of building this over time. Right. And there is a plot twist, though.
But here's the twist. Strong Scorpio energy in his 10th house and 11th house.
And so he does move in silence. He does also like to do things quite quietly and behind the scenes.
And he has Jupiter and Capricorn in the 1st house. It means when he steps into the spotlight, it sticks.
He may like being behind the scenes and sort of coordinating things in the background, but when he does step in the spotlight, he's definitely seen, and the things that he proposes to the public generally stick and are praised and get visibility. And now looking at Jeff Bezos and Bernard Arnault, they're not exceptions, right? They follow the exact same pattern. They also have very strong Saturn heavy 10th house energy and powerful Scorpio Capricorn type of themes. So no, it's not about being born under a rich sign, but it's about having specific aspects that are activated and kind of working alongside each other. And at the perfect time, these planets seem to be activated, and it brings about these sort of, expressions in the people that we've just spoken about. Now, listen carefully, right? So we are about to check out whether you can build serious wealth. Ignore your sun sign for a little bit, right? Let's put that to the side. Pull up your chart and look if you can find some of the stuff that I'm about to talk about right now, right? And you're going to focus specifically on 3 places. The first place is your 2nd house, right? This is how you make your money and how you can earn your money. Then we have the 8th house, which is about investments, big capital, and other people's resources and how they can find themselves to you. And last but not least, we'll be looking at your 10th house. Now, this is the career status and the peak status of your sort of outer reputation. And so these are the 3 houses of focus. Now, look within these houses and see what planets are there. Right? So if you see any planets in the 2nd house, in the 8th house, and in the 10th house, or right next to your midheaven, which is usually the line found in your 10th house, but it can also lie in your 9th house or 11th house in some charts, as I've seen. But look at the midheaven, it's usually labeled MC. And if you see any of these following planets there, it's a good sign. So take a screenshot and compare it with your chart, right? So if you see Saturn there, the indication here is that the build is going to be quite slow and steady, but you're going to have a massive finish that lasts and is pretty much legendary and legacy level status. And if it's Jupiter, right, in either one of these houses or alongside your midheaven, this is luck and expansion type of energy, but only if you stay focused and do not have a lot of ego play with your money, right? And if it's Pluto, one can expect extreme wealth through transformation and power, right? Pluto is all about power and transformation. So having it there in any of these houses or alongside your midheaven is also a good sign, but you have to be willing to transform and move with things even when it gets chaotic. If it's Venus, this means that money generally just finds its way towards you. So this is a very good sign as well. And if it's Mars, it usually means that you hustle your way up, right? It's the hustle, it's the grind, determination, and will, and really just exerting your power into channeling that energy towards making money. Another thing to note here is if you see Aries, Taurus, Capricorn, or Scorpio, even Leo, right, alongside your midheaven, that's also a big sign of big boss or builder type of energy. So these particular signs along that midheaven or 10th house sometimes are really great to have up there. Now, for my non-astrology babes, I will leave icons here so that you can have a look as well, and it will show you the place places where it could be hidden. If your chart is heavy on earth signs, that means Capricorn and Taurus and Virgo, or you see a lot of Scorpio or Aquarius, that's also quite a billionaire formula. A lot of these people have a mixture of these signs happening in their charts or very prominently present. So that's also a good sign. And it's not just luck, you know, these are signs known to grind and have a really great vision for their lives. So it really does help with that energy and bringing it through. So if you only know your zodiac sign, right, you're just reading the label on the bottle at this point. And what I mean by zodiac sign is just focusing on the sun sign. You're pretty much just reading the label and not really getting to the nitty gritty of what you need to find out. So I beg you, just open any astrological app, right, or website, and count your natal chart, right? You can count on your natal chart to kind of see, and you know, the icons are here for you to use, so please use them. So let's talk about when those Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto activations really and actually hit. Right, so right now and in the next few years, the money game looks something like this, right? Let's go through it. So between mid-2025 to mid-2026, Jupiter has been in the sign of Cancer, which is usually known as Jupiter's exaltation point. So this is a very favorable place for Jupiter to be in, and it's still currently there as we speak. So that's money through family, businesses, real estate, right? Emotional branding, and, you know, care industries. Those very protective, soft Cancerian traits have been some of the best sort of industries to focus on, but also housing and property and investments of that kind. Even hospitality, right? Hotel services and the like, right? So if Cancer is ruling your money or career houses, this is when stability typically turns into actual income. So that's really, really nice. Now, from about June 30th in 2026 to about July 25th in 2027, Jupiter will make its ingress, which means it moves from Cancer into Leo, right? So this is when money becomes very visible. And we're looking at personal branding, we're looking at leadership, we're looking at creativity, we're looking at authority and being seen, really being out there and quite bold and passionate with all your endeavors. If Leo is in your second house and it's in your 8th house or 10th house, this is when your name and your personality and your personal branding and the things that you have to say and do are quite visible, but they also really matter and they land pretty well with people. So your face matters, your confidence literally converts into income. So this is a really nice time for especially those people who have Leo in these houses, right? Now, from 2024 all the way up to 2044, Pluto has been in Aquarius, right? So we spoke about Pluto and we also spoke about Aquarius. This is a 20-year or roughly 20-year transit. It's generational wealth, right? And it's timing for people. The themes that are more prevalent with this particular transit are technology, right? AI, platforms for innovation. So if Aquarius is sitting in your second house, your 8th house, your 10th house, or making any sort of like connection to your midheaven as well, this can be very life-changing money potential. So it's really good to look that up and see where you sit in this sort of configuration. And remember, there are specific ages as well that might qualify for activations. So the biggest money triggers in terms of age are usually between the ages of 28 and 31, but also 36 and 38. And between 42 and 45 as well. This happens because Saturn and Pluto are activated and they are activated decision points in your chart in these particular ages. So that's really important to note. And you know, most billionaires didn't just get rich at those ages. They made the choices that later in their life impacted them greatly and made them rich. So if you're in any of these age windows and you feel the pressure and the fear and the obsession with career or control, that's not just random. It's around about the time where we really start to consider the seriousness of our lives, where they're going, what paths we're embarking on, and what we're going to leave behind later on in life. So it's not this random occurrence. It's supposed to be like that, right? So with all of that being said, and hopefully it's been quite helpful, take the time and check your chart and write down in the comments, right, which rich placement you have in your chart, if you have any at all. I'm hoping that at least we have one or two of them respectively in all our charts, because I really want us all to win. But yeah, without any further ado, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. That's all we have for you today. Please follow if you want more real astro talk and conversations of this kind. I definitely enjoy spending time with you. Okay, love you. Bye.